Hey guys, as you saw from the little intro, we are doing something kind of fun today, and also something spooky-ish, or I guess something that's right for the season, because it's already October. I don't know where the time flies, but it's October, so I decided to do something related to Halloween theme, pumpkin vibes. I really liked something that I drew on Patreon. Basically, it was this cute little pumpkin cat. It's a redesign of a pumpkin cat I drew years ago, and to be honest, that one had just a black cat's body and just like a pumpkin head, so I really wanted something more original in a way. Not that this is something, wow, I've never seen this before, but you know, something different than what I had before. So on Patreon, I decided to twist it and have a little story behind this pumpkin cat. It's kind of like a ghost. So the story is basically that we have this pumpkin kind of cat skeleton, and basically in my head this works as there's like a ghost that always on Halloween finds these carved pumpkins, and there is a pigeon that's looking at me right now. Anyways, that a ghost that finds these pumpkin heads, so they decide to live in them, but they also create this kind of structure, skeleton body, but since it's fantasy-ish, then I decided that the bones are from the vines of the pumpkin. So I wasn't really going very thoroughly with my anatomy here, since it's vines, and the ghost kind of like shapes them with the bones. Something that you would see, but it doesn't really make sense, but it has a structure. So everything else, the shape of the paws and everything like that, is the ghost itself. So yeah, this is my idea of creating this pumpkin guy, and today I decided to kind of go into it deeper, and I asked my art friends. I couldn't decide on what to really film, or not film, but I guess draw, since I wanted something a bit different. And one of my friends suggested, I think it was not a card deck, but something else that wasn't a card deck. I don't remember it. I forgot right now, but anyways, at the end of our conversation, we got to this card deck idea, and I really liked how it sounded. I know that a few people have done this before, but I wanted to try it myself, especially the symmetrical aspect, like here with this king card, where I had to basically draw the same thing twice and be very symmetrical. I wasn't really stressing out if anything wouldn't be symmetrical, because in the end I could go over digitally, choose the favorite one from these two guys and just flip it, and then I would have full-on symmetry. But that's not really that fun, and we are challenging ourselves here, so yeah, it was kind of a cool idea. And today I decided to do spades, because I don't know, I felt like it kind of felt fall themed, and at first I was gonna do red color on the spades, but I decided to do something darker because it could have clashed with the nice orange tones we have here. So I just went with a nice green. And here I'm doing the face. The technique I went with the pumpkin head is that I'm layering more and more, but I really try to make this feel that the face is glowing a little bit. So that's why I'm going in with bunch of colors and blending them together. So that's why I chose a very yellow base so that we have this light coming from inside of it. I really like how the king's crown turned into, because I really wanted to keep the vine vibes, because I really wanted to keep these nature vibes and not include anything else in a way, like an actual crown. So I liked how this one turned out. It's just like the stem is opening. Here I am doing the spades, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a background for these, but I'm really glad that I did, because the green, I don't know, it just adds so much and it completes the whole set. You will see that later. And I also went over with some white acrylic markers for the card, so that it pops out of the page more, because here it's kind of like just still blending in with the page, and I knew that I didn't want that. So actually, I really wanted to start the first card with something easy, but in the end I decided that I want to start with the king, and that's not really easy because I had no clue on what or how I wanted to make this card. That's why also here, instead of the other one, for the queen, I painted the first guy completely and only then went over to the second one, just to see if the colors are working, if I like how it looks, or if I should start over. Thankfully I didn't have to start over, and I think this card is my favorite one. I don't know, I really wanted him to have like this chill pose where he knows he's the king, he's kind of looking down on you and being a bit sassy about it, and yeah, just have an overall royalty vibe. So that's why I wanted this leisurely pose. So yeah, let me know if you think I did a good job with this guy. Since it's a set, I did not go away from the color palette I had on the page. You can see this time I actually wrote down the numbers of the markers, and it helped a lot for this piece, because usually I'm just picking out colors and just going with the flow, but here I knew that I can't really make every card different, otherwise it would feel a bit disorienting and not as a set. And I think I did quite well with the color palette, because I'm just keeping with the blues, the yellows and oranges. Not the blues, I guess the blue is only in the king and queen, but I think it has a little bit of a green tint, so it's kind of nice and kind of like ghost vibes, spooky-ish, so it's the right color that I wanted for this pumpkin cat. And I really love the color for the background, because it's like a nice mossy green. But yeah, I really love how the cards and the whole concept turned out. Okay, so the second card is the ace, and you can see here that I erased another drawing that I had underneath, and I tried to make the pumpkin in a spades form, but I really hated how goofy it looked. Not like this one isn't really, it's kind of a little bit silly as well, but I tried to make the pumpkin shape in a spade and it wasn't really working, so I just decided to do this little cute guy, and he's like a trump card, I guess, so it's a bit ironic that he looks a bit goofy and tiny, but it's a really good card, right? So this time I wanted to go in with the background first, I think, for just deciding if everything is gonna go well, I guess, and how light or dark I should do the pumpkin itself. So again, I just went over with a nice yellow and just started layering. For the Pumpkin King's vines, I also did like a light orangey brown color and then built it up with like a nice green. So that's what I did also for the queen. Here as well, I'm going with an orangey-ish brown. And I think at this point I realized that I couldn't tell if I liked how big the pumpkin was on this card, but I think I like this now more than I did before, because I just felt like it's too big. But again, you can fix it later, but it's just a bit annoying. But I think I like how it turned out in the end. It's right next to me right now, so I think I made it work. Actually, when I started this whole spread, I was kind of very inspired to just go ahead and draw stuff and figure out the concepts, figure out everything, make a nice sketchbook spread, because recently I just saw The Wild Robot and oh my god, that's one of the nicest movies I've ever seen lately. It was just so sweet and I might have cried, but don't tell anybody that. But yeah, and it kind of inspired me even more on my Tiger Rock story, and I thought about it more, and I might make it into a little animation instead of a book. I don't know, let me know what you think. I might try to make it as a little animation. I already wrote kind of like a text or a poem for it that I might use. Of course it could change, but I'm not sure yet, and it's a big project. It's not like I'm gonna have it out next week. I know I can make something nice. I actually have made a few animations before, not that they're the best ones, but I was also in school for 3D animation, but if I would make this one it would be definitely in 2D, because I just like the way you can merge and create things and just make them flow very nicely when you do it in 2D. So if I would do this tiger story, it would definitely be in 2D. So now we have moved on to the third car, and actually that's funny, I chose 3 spades and it's the third car. Anyways, I just realized that, but again, I am going with the yellow underpainting, and for this I wanted just the pumpkin heads, so we can fill in the story. Maybe these are just somebody made these and the ghost isn't occupying the pumpkin heads yet. But yeah, I really wanted just a simple card with 3 heads, and I think this one is really cute as well. And of course I also added the green background for this, but if you saw on the ace card, I made it a little bit darker so that the pumpkin pops out more. And I did the same for this card because it felt a bit too flat, and then I was thinking if I want to do the same for the king card and the queen, but they already have a lot going on, so I don't think it was necessary. So I don't have anything like that for those cards, only for these, but I think it doesn't stray away too much for the set that we have going on here, because it's still on the same color scheme. I even tried it on my swatches as well. So yeah, I think these 3 also turned out nice. I wish I could have fixed the last one a little bit more, but you know, I just wanted 3 different faces and different expressions for them, but I think the third one got a bit too similar with the first one. Don't know how that happened, but oh well. If I made like more, like a 4 or 5, I think I would try to keep them even more exaggerated and different from each other, so that it's a really nice card to look at. There, it's simple, but then you have a lot going on the card. Since these heads were kind of tiny, it was harder to make nice details, and even though I made them way larger than the actual cards, yeah, the pumpkin heads were still small. And actually I was thinking of drawing on the actual card deck that I had, but I think it's a nice card deck, and then you would have to be very careful of the lines and to not mess it up. And also I would have to do it with only acrylics, and yeah, I think it would be more of a risk than me just trying this out. So I think it's nicer that we did this on paper. If you got this far in the video, comment a pumpkin emoji so that I know that you liked it, and yeah, let me know if you want some more card art. I've never done this before, so it was a fun challenge. I'm thinking of maybe doing something with only 1 color maybe, or just gradients, I don't know, to challenge myself a little bit more with the values. But yeah, also I think I'm gonna do the next video as an ASMR, and I was thinking for them not to be super random, I could do every other video an ASMR video, because I like them and I think they're soothing to watch, so maybe it's also soothing to make. That's why I'm interested in making them. But let me know your thoughts if you would want them more or not, because your guys' input is always super nice. I had a person comment once that they heard a high-pitched noise in my video, and I didn't hear that because usually I check the audio, but I have tinnitus, so I can't really hear any beeping sounds besides my own. So I checked it with my boyfriend and he could hear it, so that's nice to inform. So now I'm gonna check them more for beeping sounds or like high-pitched things so that you don't hate the sounds. But yeah, so your guys' inputs are always super important. Here I'm going over with the yellow acrylic marker. It's not super necessary, but sometimes some details can get lost a little bit since the marker bleeds a tiny bit. So it's not necessary, but I do add those things in the end, and it's also a bit soothing to do and you can just play with it. Here we have the Queen card, and I like the pose, I like how it looks, and I like the expression. I just think I could have done a little better job, but I think it was the last card. I went all out with the king and I went a bit faster with this card, so I think I could have done a better job, but let me know. Maybe I could have made the pumpkin, like the shape of the pumpkin, a bit better. I don't know, it just feels a bit wonky. But I still like the card, and like the king card, I thought of the pose, and since it's the queen, she's more put together. She has her hands crossed, and I wanted her to look more upwards, but still have the feel that she's looking at you and also kind of judging you. So, you know, it's a nice pair, both of them. Yeah, and I made it a bit more ghost-like, I guess, since I was thinking if I should add the back legs since there's space for it, but I decided to have like this gradient where the body goes out, like the same thing for the spine that you will see in a bit. Since I already drew the king card and all the other ones, here I am going for both of them at the same time, kinda, and not doing only one and then the other. I think when you're trying to be symmetrical, it's very nice to have this thing where you're going for this same things at the same time. For example, if you're drawing eyes, then you don't draw perfectly just only the first eye and then go for the second one, because then usually it kind of sucks and it's not that great. So for me, I usually just draw the sketches and the lines simultaneously. So for example, the corner of the eye, I put both of them at the same time and everything else, so that I'm not just flushing out one eye and thinking, oh no, I need to do the other one. So I did the same for sketching out these guys. So I put the shape of the pumpkin in one corner and did the same for the other immediately, so that I'm not flushing out everything for the first one and then figuring out, oh no, I can't really do that for the other one because maybe there's no space, or how would I put them together. I did kind of mess up with the king, I think. He's not really symmetrical. He could be pushed a bit better somehow. It doesn't really show up, I think, but if you look into it, you know, but guys don't look into it. But I think for the queen I did a little better. I do, however, like the one that's under more, but I don't know. I'm thinking if I would make them symmetrical, if I would actually print these out, or just keep them like this, then you can, I guess, switch both of them. I don't know. What am I saying? Basically, if you had the card, then you would be able to see both of the faces, and especially if it's just this, then you can see the differences very easily. And now you can't, because I'm not switching the camera. this whole set was really fun to do. It's a bit of a longer video, I guess, since we're doing kind of 4 different pieces. And I don't know, I hope you like the editing as well. But yeah, we're on the last card and I will show you the end results soon. But I hope you like this video and I hope to see you next time. Bye!